Danny boy, how's it going?
All is well, man. What's up? I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming down and see me.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, man. This
No
is,
doubt.
you did a lot of good things, man. Worked with Tupac.
Oh,
you
wow.
know.
yes. I am so blessed for that, man.
Yeah, Death Row, everything came
Yes.
up with him.
No doubt.
Yeah. So, how did you and Suge meet? How did you get involved with Death Row and everything?
I was with an independent record company out of Chicago by the name of Raw Dope. They were known for actually bringing out a group by the name of Crucial Conflict at that time. And I had an opportunity to record in the city of Chicago, put together a demo record, and we went to LA to actually meet with another record company while the guy Shorty Capone was waiting to meet with some people at Interscope, and Suge Knight walked in and he had an opportunity to find out that I was about to do a meeting, and he was like, bust something. He thought that I rapped, and I started singing. He was like, wait a minute, wait. He left out of the room for a second and came back in with this short guy and just said sing for him, and I later learned that that was Jimmy Iovine that I sang for.
Oh, okay.
And that's when the deal was kind of sealed.
Oh, okay. What were some of the first things you did once you got on Death Row?
Wow. I think we came to Las Vegas, Nevada. We came to some type of award show, and I think it was actually the first award show, whatever show it was their first attempt at trying this award show. And I'm a church boy from the west side of Chicago. I had been around, a lot of street dudes because I grew up, in the hood. But once I got to LA and we came to Las Vegas, they came here, and I had an opportunity to see Death Row, the real Death Row, I should say, like right up front, real close.
Can you talk about what happened?
I mean, it was some dude got on the stage and, he was throwing up some gang signs, and some of Suge homies walked up while they were filming and beat him up while they was filming. I mean, it was, to be somebody that I was used to talent shows from the city of Chicago, all around the city that I had done, but, to see somebody fighting at the damn award show.
They were performing at an award show?
Yeah, the awards was filming. They was like right in the moment. And whoever this dude was, went up there and started doing some gangbanging stuff, and some of Suge homies went up there and actually jumped on him.
Did it mess up the award show?
Yeah, I think the awards was over then. I think that was the beginning of me getting an opportunity to see Death Row being asked, would you please leave? Would you please leave? Can you please leave? That was a hard thing to kind of ask Suge Knight at that time. Could you leave? So that was pretty much of a task as well, if I could remember.
Okay. Who all was there from Death Row?
I mean, everybody was there.
Pac, Snoop, everybody?
Not Pac. Tupac.
Oh, that was before Pac.
When I got to Death Row, Tupac.
How old were you at this time?
I was 15, about to turn 16 years old.
So at 15, 16 years old, you're with Death Row.
Yes.
And your first experience with them is they jump on stage.
They beating the hell out of somebody on stage.
What were you thinking at that time?
What in the fuck did I sign up for? What did I just sign up for? Where am I? I need to go home. I was thinking of a whole lot of things, actually. But, it kind of gave me an adrenaline rush as well, because it reminded me of being in Chicago. I'm fresh in high school. Like, I was almost in my second year, going into my sophomore year. So, I was used to seeing fights, but these were grown men doing it. So it was pretty different for me.
Okay. So Suge took you under his wing and, did a lot of things for you when you first got into Death Row.
Oh, yes. Did he?
What was some of your first other experiences you had? You moved out here, right? From Chicago?
I moved from Chicago. I didn't immediately move because I didn't sign immediately. Suge offered the deal, but I didn't sign probably until about 6 months later. But he still took me under his wing, put me in a hotel. I stayed in a hotel almost 2 years in LA on Sunset. So I was right next to the House of Blues. I was there when they even broke ground to even build it. So to have the opportunity to be in the neighborhood with, Hollywood. I was in Hollywood, getting an opportunity to see all the artists perform at the House of Blues. I stayed in the hotel. Actually, I stayed there for almost a year or two, and Jamie Foxx stayed there for about 6 or 7 months. A gospel singer, BB Winans. Yeah, CC Abibi is the guy. The guy Mr. Winans, he stayed in the hotel as well. So for me to know him from gospel, just know him from church and know his music, and have an opportunity to stay in a hotel with Jamie Foxx and singing with them in the evening time. And Jamie Foxx was like the hottest on in Living Color at that time. So that was really an experience. It was like, I was living in the inside of a television or something. I was living on TV because I was actually around those type of people.
Okay, so you got to meet everybody.
Oh, for sure.
So
Slowly it was coming. I had been in LA, and being in the right place, you're always able to kind of see, those that's big in Hollywood, so to say. So that came pretty fast.
How did they find out you were from Death Row? You were working with Death Row?
Well, the thing about Death Row, Suge kind of had this thing where, we really wasn't a part of that Hollywood shit, as Suge would say it. Meaning, if we were in an Instagram time at that time, if Instagram wasn't around in the 90s, I don't think we would have caught a lot of the stuff as, we catch today, because Suge didn't believe in running up to other celebrities and saying, hey, let me get a picture and da-da-da-da-da-da. His biggest thing was that he always told me was, you let them run up to you. Like, don't be running up to them. You know what I mean? And, you kind of learned that pretty fast. And nobody was hotter than Death Row at that time. You know what I mean? Even though these were artists that, I was used to seeing as I was growing up, or people that I was seeing on television, there was still a way, I was kind of trained in a way to know how to act. Be excited, but, stay in my place and try to act as if I'm already in Hollywood as well.
Is there any time Suge got mad at you when you were young?
Hell yeah. Man, when I first went to Death Row, and you'll hear about this in my book, Stranded on Death Row. I first went there. I was, as I said, Shorty Capone, after he signed me, he went back to Chicago. He left me with my $25,000 signing bonus of the $100 and something thousand that he got paid.
Oh, take me through that. How'd that all unfold?
So Suge was like, yeah, I want that nigga. You ain't gotta take him to no meeting. And like the meeting that I was on my way to, it was canceled. Because Suge made an offer like immediately, like $250,000. Like immediately, I'll give you $250. Let me have him. Da 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 da. So the talk went around for a little while, but it ended up being almost $170 something thousand signing, something like that. And we signed. They gave me $25,000, and that's a lot of money to give somebody that I grew up on the west side of Chicago on food stamps. You know what I mean? When they were in the paper book. So to give me a $25,000 check at that age was definitely something incredible. Before I got that check, Suge put me in the Peninsula Hotel after finding that Shorty had left me in LA after getting that bonus.
So how do you end up with that? Was your manager at the time?
Shorty Capone, yeah, he was more like my manager, the CEO of the production company.
And how do you end up taking your money?
Well, I guess, I'm 15, 16 years old, so I really wasn't.
And that was supposed to be the guy that was supposed to be watching out for you.
That was the guy that was supposed to look out for me. You know what I mean? And there's some things that I've said in the past in interviews. I'm so glad that I'm maturing that, I don't think I've ever said this before. Shorty is the creep, or was the creep that he was because he knew no better. And I used to say some horrible things about him. And, at this point, I could say that I appreciate Shorty what he did, giving me that opportunity to meet who I met. Suge Knight put me in that position. I don't like the way that I was played because I was a minor and I didn't know any better, but honestly, I don't think Shorty knew any better when it came to the business. And now that I'm an adult, I guess I could say that. I was left there. And the good part about when Suge found out that I was left there, my mother was ill at the time, so I had to have a guardian. And Suge was like, well, man, you around me. I might as well be your guardian. But before that happened, I'm staying in the Peninsula Hotel, and Jewel, one of the first lady of Death Row on the R&B side, she brought girls over to my hotel to the Peninsula every day, and they was getting these bottles, and I didn't know what the bottles was until I found out they was Cristal, and I didn't know they were so expensive. And she would come with at least 7 to 10 girls every day. And they was getting bottles of Cristal, they was getting their feet done in their room, they were getting pedicures, massages, buying clothes from the gift shop. And what got me in trouble was I took the limousine that they give you, a limousine with your room. You can just have them take you wherever. It was a Rolls-Royce limousine. I took this limousine. Jewel hooked me up with somebody to give me a burnout cell phone. but I had to go to Compton to get it. So I am riding in a limousine, in a Rolls Royce limousine in Compton. And Suge's assistant, Roy, called the guy and said, hey, Suge want to meet with Danny Boy, how close are you to the office? And he said, well, sir, we're on Rosecrans and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And you could hear him say, oh no, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You have to be fucking kidding me. You're where? And he said it to him again. And I heard the phone click in and Suge on the phone. And he's like, hey, where the fuck y'all at? He asked him the driver, and the driver was like, well, sir, we're on da-da-da-da-da-da in Rosecrans. And da-da-da. He said, you motherfucking idiot. Bring that motherfucker up to my office right now. And yeah, I mean, he was saying more than that and just cussing on the phone. And I'm like, oh shit. So when the guy hung up the phone, I was like, hey, look, I'm 16 years old. I don't really know what's gonna go on, but you need to take me to the airport. I went to the airport and flew home. Immediately, like
First
the
thing
first
out,
flight smoking.
first
I think it was a United Airline. I can remember getting on the plane, like I'm out of here. And it took me a couple of months to come back to LA. And when I got back, he made me wait around as usual, like everybody else waited around for him. He say 7 o'clock, he'll be there at 1 o'clock a.m. I waited around, he came and he said, hey, I look like I fell off the back of a fucking banana truck. I'm like, I really didn't know if that was a gang term or something. And I was like, no. And he was like, I'll fuck you up. I don't give a fuck that you no kid. I'll fuck you up. And I'm just kind of like looking at him, and I looked over at Shorty Capone, and I looked at him again. And he was like, I fuck with you, but don't be on that Hollywood shit. And I think that was the only time that I had a run-in with him. But after him becoming my guardian, it was kind of hard to have a run-in with him, because I would say things to him that nobody else could or nobody else would. I would take those chances.
So he was mad about the money you spent.
Yeah, he was real mad. I'm like almost $90-something thousand.
Oh, that much?
Yeah, within 2 months. 92 months, 3 weeks or 2 months, something like that. But I spent like $90-something thousand. Charged it all to the room. I didn't know the Cristal was costing, $200-300 a bottle. And we was drinking it every day for like 6-7 days straight. Pedicures and I didn't know you could charge all of it. I'm just signing the paper. I didn't know that it was connected to money law.